Whoop-dee.
Let's see. I think we're hot. All right, I'm back with another episode, but first the sponsors. Head over to www.johnbartoloshow.com. Go check out a complete list of all the sponsors there. I want to thank a few of them now. Rhino Metals for all the tables and chairs. Blackwater Ammunition. Galco Leather Holsters. Volquartsen Firearms. Right On Optics. I'm missing a few. St. Gallo Tech today, too.
Did you put the donuts in there?
Pink Box. Box Donuts.
Those donuts are pretty
Don't
good.
reveal yourself yet. It's supposed to be a secret. All right. It's supposed to be a secret. All right. Today's guest needs no introduction. We're going to jump right into it. Head over to the website. Go check out a complete list of the sponsors. We got Mr. RealWorld Tactical, Tony Sentmanat.
Hey. Oh, man. You didn't tell me I had to clean my mouth.
You got to face this. You face this way.
I face which way? That
This way. That's the camera. That's where
That's
you're hot.
the camera right there.
You're hot right there.
Okay.
All right.
Is that
Listen.
the one that makes me look hot?
That's what it makes you look. Yeah. Shape up on that. So, Tony's in town, hanging out. He's got a couple new announcements. We're going to get to some interesting stuff. But let's talk about the gummies first. I want to talk about them first.
Well, you guys, you know, John, that I've always been a huge vitamin guy, like immune support and all that. And I think everybody who's ever followed me, they know that I'm a huge Sour Patch gummy aficionado. I guess that's what you call it. So I decided that I wanted to make some gummies, and I wanted to make them good for you. I didn't just want to make them like candy. So I'm coming out with a 3-in-1 immune support gummy. It is going to be the strongest gummies on the market. So that's the goal right now. They're going to have vitamin C, 1,100 milligrams. It's going to be elderberry, 100 milligrams, zinc, and vitamin D2.
It doesn't have the Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine in it, does it?
No.
All right.
Is that the one that kills you?
That's the one that fucking makes you grow a third eyeball, apparently.
That's the one that fucking kills you.
Yeah, so we can say there's no Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccine.
Yeah, no. Actually, I got it. I got COVID in the beginning, like probably the first couple months, and it didn't really affect me that much. Now, granted, like I take a lot of vitamins on a regular daily, and I think that's a huge thing that people should start doing, and that's the reason why I'm coming out with the gummies, because I just think it's so important to keep your immune support in your body high at all times, And me, I've always...
Where can you get them?
On my website, of course. They're going to be coming out hopefully in the next 8 weeks. Finishing up the final production on that. They are the best tasting gummies. Vitamin C gummies. That I can guarantee.
Personally overseen by RealWorld Tactical.
Yes. And I can pretty much 99% that they're going to be the strongest gummies for vitamin C on the market. Going to be 1,100 milligrams for 4. So 2 in the morning, 2 at night. And right now...
That's a lot.
Huh?
That's a lot.
A lot of what? Gummies?
A lot of fucking milligrams.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because most people, 500 milligrams is not enough. An average adult, you should be taking at least 1,000 to 2,000 milligrams
That'll
per
fucking
day.
kill they'll kill AIDS in you.
That's it. Whatever. I don't care. As long as I don't have to worry about COVID and worry about all the other shit we got going on. All the strands of COVID coming out now.
What does Airborne have in it? Did you compare it to 750?
750.
You compared it to that. See, the man has knowledge.
Yeah, 750. Every pretty much all the bigger brands, they're all at 750, and then they give you, I think it's 10 days worth. Mine's gonna come in with 60 count, which is 2 weeks worth. So it'll be at least 2 weeks, of 1,100 milligrams every single day, plus the elderberry, which a lot of people, if you do your research, people don't realize how important elderberry is.
How important is it?
It's pretty fucking important. I can sit here and give you like a whole spiel, but the best thing for you to do is Google, and it'll tell you that actually a lot of research says that elderberry is actually more important than vitamin C. That's what they're saying.
I believe it.
Yeah. I got to try to keep my people, safe, man.
It's probably overdue for you to do something like this.
Yeah, I mean, I've come out, that's another big thing too. I've come out with a lot of products over the years. I have my signature knife dropping probably in the next couple months as well. But I wanted to do something consumable. You know what I mean? And I'll tell you, to all the entrepreneurs out there, If you're getting into products and you're selling stuff, whatever it is that you're going to sell, remember, consumable is something that someone eats, drinks, whatever, and they have to keep getting it. When you sell a shirt, when you sell any kind of other products, you get one product and that's it. Consumable, they keep coming. If it's a good product, they're going to keep coming back.
What about doing like an energy gummy next for like the gamers and everything? Because you still have that whole, Call of Duty crowd.
Don't be giving away my secrets.
What do you mean? Can we do breaking news here now?
That might be in the works.
Yeah, I mean, even if it was like a
focus, mind settling energy thing.
What goes into a focus one? It's like less caffeine over time. It's like a cup of coffee is like what, 80?
I mean, I think it's more. Well, these kids,
because it's not meant to be like a pre-workout, like a hardcore.
No. These kids play for what, 10 hours, 14 hours.
You know twitching on Twitch.
Yeah, I think it's more of a focus-based gummy, where it's you're talking about longevity. Because if a kid is playing for 10 hours straight,
you can't have them whacked out.
Yeah, exactly. You can't. And not that I play the video games, guys. I don't. But I'm assuming that it takes a lot of. I'm gonna say, when you're playing with your hands, that you got to really focus on everything that's going on in the game. So if you get something that's gonna make you too agitated or too amped up, you're not gonna be able to focus as well. So I'd rather make a focus one where it brings your mind and everything on what you're doing, than with a little bit of caffeine, obviously keep your energy high.
Yeah, 100%.
These kids are playing at 3:00 in the morning. You know what I'm saying?
Next, you do like CBD or THC in them.
I'm not
CBD
fucking with
be
CBD, bro.
It could,
bro. How many companies right now have out there have CBD? How many? And plus, I'm sponsored by CBD companies.
It's so saturated. CBD.
Yeah.
Listen, CBD's out of control right now.
Yeah. It's
everywhere.
Everywhere.
I think I might have taken 7,000 milligrams this morning. I could barely stand up. It works. I don't care. I've had to find the threshold, but if you take it before bed with the melatonin, you'll be out cold.
I work with CBDMD USA, and their products are super, super good. The sleep one that they have
that rub, the stick.
Yes, the freeze.
The freeze
is super good. Super, super good.
The stick.
Yeah, it's really good. Their products are just, the quality of their products is really, really good. I mean, there hasn't been a product yet that they've come out with that I've tried. They have gummies too. They have CBD gummies.
Some people respond really well to it. Some people get like a really good,
it's helped me sleep. That I can guarantee you for sure. 100%.
You don't need any more help with that.
No, the way I snore.
Oh,
you know what's happening to that.
So, you do the gummies. That's a logical move for you. It's been a busy summer, though. Last time we talked about the whole Call of Duty thing. You're still dealing with that, which is pretty amazing. I'm sure since then a million people have hit you up and said, "What the fuck? Who's this guy in the game?" Right?
Yeah.
And
by the way, it's me.
It's pretty funny. And any plans you think maybe to expand on that into something else? Have you thought about it?
I have. It's just. What do you mean, like into like the Hollywood world you're talking about, or something like that, or just like?
Well, I mean, I know there's always Hollywood stuff, but gaming's an interesting one to me because I think there's so many avenues our industry hasn't explored in gaming, and I think that there's a lot of ground we can still cover. You and I have talked about this. That whole crowd is obviously a very pro gun crowd, very pro training. They're familiar with the products right out of the chute. They like it. That whole genre is like untapped by our industry, but obviously because of people like you, I believe it was Alex Zedra. There's the others.
I think Rudy Reyes has got his character.
Rudy getting a character, maybe.
Congrats to you, by the way, Rudy.
Yeah, and that opens doors. Whether or not someone's going to just open the door or kick it open is going to be another story. And how far someone's willing to go with it, whether it's maybe getting on Twitch. I think Alex is on there. She does stuff
Alex,
on
listen, Alex kills it, bro.
Yeah.
I've known Alex for years, and she's doing very well. She does very well for herself in that whole
space.
World, space, yeah. She runs that space. She really does. I'm super proud of her for that. She's doing really good.
But that's a completely untapped resource, I think.
It is. I mean, it's you know what it is for me is, since I'm not a gamer, it's very hard. See, Alex she's a gamer. You know what I'm saying? So it's a different animal. You get me? Since I'm not a gamer, I don't really know the demographics so well. It's not like MMA or fitness or you know what I'm saying, or tactical, whatever. Those genres of demographics, I know them very well. But the gaming world, it's a hard demographic for me, even though I'm in it now. But I
feel like companies don't exploit it enough as they should.
No, but this is huge. I mean, that I learned really quick.
Yeah, it's all changing. There's money in it.
The gaming world is pretty. I mean, it was season 5. Call of Duty went from season 4 to season 5. It went from 50 million to 75 million. Obviously, it was during COVID, so I'm sure that helped a lot too. You know, everybody was home.
Oh my God.
So yeah. So I mean, if you were home and what are you doing? You're playing video games for 12 hours a day.
Yeah, it's a busy genre, and there's a lot of people jumping in. But whether or not, I'm waiting for someone to like kick the door open, like fitness or something else that we've seen people cross over into. I guess you could say Alex is doing that. You know, how it would all be tied together, I'm not 100%.
Yeah. She does shooting. She does a little bit of fitness, and but her main thing is the gaming world. You know what I mean? That's just her niche. You know.
Yeah,
she does the tactical shooting stuff that she does. You know.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's definitely a growing genre, and I think a lot of people need to pay attention to it because I'm very bullish on it. I think that there's money to be made there. How we make it, we don't know yet.
Well, that's the key. Yeah, that's the key there.
How?
That's the key there. How do you tap into that market? You know, where
advertising, marketing,
and all that.
Yeah.
I have my new group out, Warrior Alliance. I'm building my new group. That's another thing that I just did recently. I'm building out the whole subscription service of all my online training. And I'm making everything pretty much exclusive, man. Trying to get out of the social media space where everybody's going to have access to me on their own website. It's going to have an app. It's going to have everything.
You and I battle about this. Is Instagram dying, or is it too watered down?
I don't think it's dying. I think that it's too controlled. Instagram is too controlled right now. They're because of everything that's going on in the media and all that. They're controlling everybody's pages, the algorithm. So no matter, you know, if you have a great page or not, if you're putting up something they don't like, they're going to just shadow ban you and just not let your page, you know, grow. Like, you know, back in the day, you had a video that went viral, you know, your page grew substantially, you know?
Yeah.
It was like TikTok, for example. When TikTok first came out, there's no algorithm. It's just, if you do a video and it does really good, it's going to hit every single body. And
I had one get 250,000 views. Yeah. An old piece of shit video.
Yeah. So it's now in Instagram that would never happen.
Never.
It would never happen because as soon as it would hit a certain mark, they'll like boom, and they'll shut it down, and that's it. Nobody will ever see it other than the people that follow you.
They kill it.
They kill it. So that's the problem with Instagram right now. You know, in my opinion, and that's why for me, I'm trying to build an entire, you know, whole separate ordeal of the people who actually follow me and
like a one-on-one network.
Yeah, that support me. I want to give them everything that, you know, since they've supported me since the beginning. I want to be able to go ahead and give them giveaways, give them stuff back for all the time they've supported me. You know what I'm saying? And get lives with me and all that types of stuff. On top of my online training, of course.
Now, you know, we talked about this 100 times on social media, but offline. But I want to talk about it online because I think it's an important message. I talked about it the other day in the Green Room, the new show I'm trying to do. If you haven't checked out Inside the Green Room, I'm trying to do a new show. But go check it out. It's on YouTube. A lot of people now, because of Instagram, are trying to grab that 5 minutes, you know, that attention span of everybody. And we talked about this. People are just putting stuff out there without any context. And a lot of friends we talk to all the time in law enforcement are talking about this. They're just reporting something, just putting something out there, just to give an opinion. You and I have talked about this is a mistake. Nobody takes any time to allow context to set in, to understand the situation. No. They just put something out there.
Well, they see something and they automatically think they know what you saw is everything. And 99.9% of the time, you don't have all the facts. So if you make an opinion based on 30 seconds and you didn't see a 10-minute video, then your opinion is going to be flawed because you didn't see the entire story. You know what I'm saying? And you're only going by, and that usually is an emotional response.
And you're good at explaining this. It's dangerous. It really is very dangerous.
Oh, well, of course. It becomes a point where you see something, it angers you, and automatically now you have your opinion based on what you saw, and then you have to go back and see the entire video and realize, holy shit, this is why that happened. And now you got to think about it twice, but by then, the damage is done. You already gave your opinion. You already, went on social media and gave a rant on something you had no idea what the hell it was anyways.
How do we stop it? How do you put a stop to it?
You can't. It's just like the media. You can't put a stop to that, bro. The media controls the masses. You know, someone I posted something the other day. It was like, oh, you can't trust. That's what was it? Fox News. You can't trust Fox News. And I wrote back. I was like, you can't trust any news outlet. Tell me one news outlet that is not biased or going to tell you what they think is going to get more ratings, whatever, whether they're righty or lefty or Democratic or Republican. I don't care what it is. The media is going to spin it. However, the story is going to get better. You get me? So at the end of the day, if you're going to put it out, and I post it because this is what they did. Most of the time, I'll post something I think it's funny, like some of the shit that they say, you know, or some of the things. And it was like, oh, you can't believe everything you read, and da-da-da-da-da. I was like, it's not about that. If you read anything, it's all fake. It's all fake news, bro. All of it. So, I mean, I can tell you from my personal experience from years ago, being involved in an officer-involved shooting where stuff that happened, and that very night I go and listen to the news about my thing that happened to me, right? My shooting, and it was all messed up. Nothing that they said on that entire news was anything close to what really happened. So that tells you, you know, it was a personal experience of mine. I was like, wow, that's crazy.
But what would you say to instructors out there that come out of the gates quick? And there's some good ones, and that come out of the gates quick with a heavy opinion and want to put it up there and put it out there. Is it all bad? Is it all good? Is some good? Is some bad? If you were to give them a message, what would it be? Because you've been on all sides of it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Listen, first of all, any instructor that puts out a video law enforcement based and is not in law enforcement, first of all, or anything that has to do with something that's controversial, and they give an opinion based on what they see on a 30-second video. And they don't, and this is my whole thing. If you want to make it, one thing is to put a video and bash someone, right? Another thing is to put a video and try to educate people, or say, well, you know, what do you think what this could have been done better because of whatever, you know, da 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 da. Now that's based on your experience. I'm assuming that if you're talking about whatever you're talking about, you have some experience talking about it, right? There's two different versions of it, because if you're just going to put a video up to get likes and to get views and to bash somebody, and you're supposedly a firearms instructor, or you're whatever, Mr. what we call them, subject matter experts, then honestly, like, I lose a lot of respect for people like that. I really do. Because at the end of the day, what do you get out of that? Because you want more views? Because you want more likes? So you're going to bash somebody else that just was involved in a shooting, or they have enough problems as it is. They're going to have enough problems as it is. You know, they're going to go through 3-4 years of investigation. You know, they're going to be put on leave. They're going to be done this. They're going to be done that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, clearly, let's talk about the female.
Right.
Taser female, you know. What she did was wrong, 100%. It was a huge mistake. And in my department many, many years ago, we had another individual that did the same exact thing. Not in a car, but the guy was fighting on the floor. And he shot the guy in the leg. And right next to two cops. And it can happen. It happens. People get flustered. People get... you just never know how someone's going to react in a situation where they're really in fear.
The adrenaline dump.
The adrenaline dump, right? Should it happen? No, 100% it shouldn't. Now, is it that police officer's fault if that happens? 50 yes, 50 no. 50 yes, because that police officer should train on their own. 100%. Mm-hmm. But the other 50%, I can guarantee you that there's a reason why that chief resigned right off the bat. Because if you go back on those books of any form of taser training in that department, or any form of any kind of high liability training in that department, guaranteed it's garbage. So they're going to go back and they're going to say, when was the last person that had any taser training? When was the last person? 3 years ago. Really? That should be standardized every single 6 months, minimum. Every single 6 months. And to me, your firearm as a lethal weapon, or whatever you want to call it. Option, you know, that should be even done more. And it's not. It's, for most departments, it's done once a year. So what do you want to do? You want to defund the police? They only shoot a gun once a year. You go ahead and defund the police or whatever you want to call it, and they're going to shoot their gun once every 3 years. It makes it worse. A cop doesn't have confidence in his abilities and what he can do. It just makes him more easier to make more mistakes and to hurt someone they shouldn't hurt. So, there's no excuse for that. But at the same time, you know what, bro? People, you can get upset, you can get mad or whatever it may be. If he wouldn't have resisted, right, because of whatever reason, the warrant that he had for whatever reason. How dare you
say that?
Yeah, God forbid, you know what I'm saying? Then nothing would have happened. If he would have just put his hands behind his back, he would have been handcuffed, taken a warrant. Then you know what? Whether you're guilty or not, you'll see your day in court. Bottom line, don't fucking resist.
Part of the problem is, though, they know now, Tony, that if they resist, any criminal knows if they resist, they run, they can get away.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And that's part of the problem that's making it worse. Yeah. And that's what people don't understand. It's being made worse. But the whole defunding the police thing goes against everything else because they want them to be these perfectly trained experts, but they also want to defund them. And then they also want to use them, mobilize them to enforce red flag laws and take our guns away.
Yeah.
So like the whole thing doesn't work. The whole narrative, I don't know how it works. I don't know how that plays out. That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I got you.
So the same elected officials that are screaming defund the police are the same ones that are going to say, how are we going to take the guns away? We'll use the cops. Yeah, right. That's a good philosophy. That sucks. And that's a horrible one.
Absolutely.
So none of it works, in my opinion. But I mean, you've been on the job and you've been through it. Back then they called it budget cutting. Now it's defund the police.
Yeah, defund the police. Take it reform. Yeah. I understand the reform concept. I get it. I understand the reform concept because I've always been a firm believer that it's not just lethal tactical training. You just can't always teach lethal tactical training. They should take courses in everything. And if a guy is high strung, then maybe he needs to take a de-escalation course. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he needs to take a course that makes him understand how to deal with people. Yeah, verbal judo, or how to deal with people that are disabled. You know what I'm saying? That have mental issues. I'm a firm believer in that everybody should go through some kind of training like that. You know what I'm saying? So, and of course, how to defend yourself physically. Ground, grappling, stand up, whatever it is that may be. That those little things like that is what's going to make you that much more confident because you're proficient at it, and you're not going to have that real actual, I'm in fear for my life, so I need to pull my gun out.
Right.
And there you go. And that's where the whole point is, because one thing is to pull your gun out, shoot somebody, when you could have just put hands on the guy, maybe took the guy down to the ground, and then handcuffed him, and you would have been okay, just because you could. You know what I mean? So if I told you how many times that I've always been a hands-on kind of guy. Most people that don't have any kind of experience on putting hands on people, they're not going to. So they're going straight into any kind of less lethal. They go into a baton, they go into a taser, they go into the pepper spray. And that none of those options are guaranteed 100%. None of them. The only thing that's ever guaranteed 100% are your hands and putting them on someone, and what your ability is to do what you need to do to effectively make an arrest. That's always going to work. Now, it may take 2 or 3 people, right? It may take 2 or 3 people to make an arrest on a guy that's way bigger than you, stronger than you, but it will work. A taser, you have 2 cartridges. Boom, you hit the first one. The guy's got a sweater on. It doesn't work on him. Boom, you hit a second. Like what happened to me one time. One of the tasers hit the guy's zipper. So one of the prongs hit the zipper, and then the other one hit the arm. Well, once it hit the zipper, it never made contact with his skin. So it didn't go off. It didn't affect him. So when I hit him, I was like, and there's that oh shit moment where I'm like pressing the trigger on the taser, and I look up, and the guy's just staring at me like, it's not working, motherfucker. You know what I mean? Then you got to say, okay, now I got to do something else. And then what did you have to do? You have to go hands on. Usually when I went to a taser, it was the guy, because the guy was either covered in vomit, covered in shit, covered in blood, or just the simple fact that maybe the guy was HIV positive, maybe he had hepatitis. You know what I mean? There's got to be a specific reason. Maybe the guy was completely naked, that I automatically went...
Florida.
Yeah, exactly, Miami. That I automatically went to a less lethal instead of just going hands-on, And if you're just pulling your freaking taser out every single time, that's a problem, man. That's a problem, you know? It doesn't solve everything.
Is it impossible to be a cop now?
It's impossible to be a cop. It's not impossible to be a police officer, because there's two different things. Because being a cop is like what I used to do back in the day. Being a police officer is you're a glorified report writer. So that anybody could do. You sit in your car and you go to handle calls and just write.
AAA with a badge.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, if that's the case, and yeah, anybody could do that. I mean, and then like everything else in the world, a hot call goes out. You're gonna get in your car. You're gonna drive the speed limit with your lights and sirens on, chilling. It's all good. And I get there when I get there. That's it. And you get there when you get there. And honestly, I don't blame any police officer that does it. I don't, because what they're getting paid, it's like garbage. And then they get there and everybody hates them. So why are they risking their life for people that hate you, for people that are, and then your upper echelon of command, if you do anything proactive, they're going to cut your head off or give you hours or whatever it may be. So a lot of guys have just like, shut down from actually being a cop, and I don't blame them.
Everything that gets reported now is a mass shooting, even though shooting numbers technically aren't really going up. Mm-hmm. We never heard these terms years ago. Now it's the go-to term, right? It's a mass shooting.
Yeah.
It's a mass event. Everything's like, it's like... well,
it's just because the media is trying to drive the Second Amendment. Bottom line is, the more people that get shot by guns, the more the media can, reverse the negative and try to take our guns away or try to put more laws towards our guns, And that's the way it runs. That's my opinion on that, And I think I've always been the factor of a gun doesn't shoot people. People shoot people. Right? So, and then someone really wants to kill 5 or 6 people or 7 or 8 people without a gun or with a gun, they're going to find a way to do it. You can pretty much go to the grocery store and make a bomb. So,
well, I think the reality is, I think you have to work on enforcing the laws you have now. I think that's part of the problem. I think you have to work with what you have in place now. And if you can't, like a lot of these shootings, right? Like even the recent one, I think it was the guy in Colorado, right? The family had told the cops, the family had tried to take the gun away from him, blah, blah, blah. A lot of this stuff is preventable. They already have the strictest laws in place. They already have everything in place. Yeah. It's preventable. And, we don't want people to be calling and reporting people for whatever. But I see it as you have layering laws on top of laws is never the answer.
Absolutely not. I mean, look at some of the most strictest states that have laws. Chicago.
Illinois is awful. Yeah.
And they have the highest murder rate in the country. There's people getting shot every single weekend, but of course you never hear any of that on the news. 30 people every weekend, 20 people every weekend. And they have, so this is my thing. I'll say, if you have the strictest laws, right, then people shouldn't have guns. But wait, people still have guns. I wonder why. Because no matter what, they're gonna find a way to get a gun. You know what I mean? Doesn't matter what laws you have. The criminals don't abide by laws. The good people abide by the law. So the killings are still going to happen. The crime's still going to happen. It doesn't matter. What laws you put up. It's a bunch of bullshit, man.
Yeah, it's a little out of control. The other thing I want to talk to you about is recently we lost Marvin Hagler, middleweight fighter.
Yes. He had some good fights, man.
I was talking about this.
Brawler. He was legit.
Yeah, and you're closely tied to the fight community. You love this stuff. We talk about it all the time.
Oh, we're going to celebrity stuff, aren't we?
Oh, no. We can talk about the celebrity. Actually, yeah, we can talk about the celebrity stuff. I mean, last night was...
I called it last night. You got to give me props.
I just wanted the under.
No.
I just wanted the under.
Tell me I was right. I want to hear it.
You did. You said it.
All right.
But I liked the under anyway. I said there's no way that fight goes to decision. That was my thing.
Nah, we talked about the Ben Askren and Jake Paul. Logan, Jake Paul. I called it. I told him yesterday. I said, look, Ben Askren is a phenomenal wrestler. Great grappler, good MMA fighter, but he isn't a boxer. He has no hands. I knew that. He's not no hands. He's never.
He didn't look like he trained.
The guy's never used his hands for anything ever, right? So this kid Jake, with all the shit people talk about him, right? he's been training boxing. It's probably been a few years already. And with the money that he has, he probably has some of the best coaches in the game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Helping him around the whole entire country. You know, and if the kid's willing to work his ass off, you know that he's going to be way more prepared than Ben Askren.
Probably got Freddie Roach for all we know.
Yeah, who knows? You don't know who he has out there. But at the end of the day, bro, it looked to me, that round where he knocks out Ben Askren, it literally looked to me like Rocky. Like the staged movie of it looked like Apollo Creed or Rocky, where he does the fake to the bottom, boom, comes right over the right hand and just knocks you out. Boom, that's it, it's over. It almost looked staged. That's how bad it looked. You get me?
Oh, it could have been, but I knew it wasn't going to see the end.
Yeah, no, of course not. But I mean, bro, you would think Ben Askren is used to getting hit with MMA gloves. You get me? Those are boxing gloves. So I was like, it looks really bad on Ben. Now, I don't know Ben. I don't know him. I don't know him personally is what I'm saying. Still, biggest payday ever for him. Goes in one round, gets knocked out, made $500,000. That's the most money he's ever made in any fight ever. Probably, in $500,000 was probably the total amount of all the fights he ever got paid in the UFC. You know what I mean?
So he had a 3-fight deal in the UFC. I forget for how much, but I know it was good because they brought him over because he was a champion where he was.
At the end of the day, it's a win-win for him, whether he loses or not. You get me? He's still getting paid, and he only did a round. He got hit one time.
Yeah, Dana called them money grabs. Yeah. That's what those are, those celebrity cards.
100%. You know, and I mean, can you get mad at Jake? He's playing the cards, right? He's playing the game.
Yeah, I think for Jake Paul, I think for him, he's trying to build his name. He's trying to be a known celebrity fighter right now.
Yeah.
I agree with people that say like, okay, you've proven that you're a fighter. Now fight a fighter.
100%.
A boxer. Fight a boxer.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
So he gets in the ring with a real boxer at this point. What does that look like? Or does he keep doing these celebrity fights? If he wants to get credibility as a boxer, I think he has to fight a boxer.
I agree with you 100%.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's earned everybody's respect. Like, okay, you did it. You got in the ring twice. But how long are you going to keep doing the celebrity thing?
Yeah. When is it going to come time that you're actually going to fight a boxer that's 5-0 or 6-0? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That has some skill, some real hands. You know.
Because let's call these amateur fights, whatever. Yeah. I don't even know if they're professional. They're professional fights. I think they are.
100% they are.
So let's say he's 2-0 professional
and everything. So in an amateur fight, they would have made him wear headgear and all that. They're not wearing any headgear.
So let's say he's 2-0 professionally. Now it's time you fight like a maybe it's a 1-2 or a 1-1 guy. Like you got to fight someone.
Yeah,
now.
Of course, absolutely.
You know, and
I agree with you.
And prove it. You know, and it's not going to be for big money, and it should be on a regular card like everybody else.
Well, it's going to be for big money because of Jake Paul.
Right.
He's going to try to. Well, that's the whole point here. Like these two fights are setting him up for that third or fourth fight
where he can lead a mid card or something.
Yeah, and depending on the pay-per-view that he gets will depend on who he fights. Because if he's got good pay-per-view ratings, then they're going to pair him up with another person who's got pretty good pay-per-view ratings to make the most amount of money on the fight. And that's the key there. He comes into the game not wanting to get paid scraps because of who he is. So I get that. He's coming into the game saying, okay, I'm going to fight, but you're going to pay me because of who I am, the amount of money that I deserve. $650,000. Okay. Or was it 650 or 690?
Whatever.
600 plus, right? Because of his following, because of his rate, all that stuff.
Because he brings buys to the table.
Exactly. So he doesn't want to, I'm sure he doesn't want to fight for, $5,000, you know what I'm saying? And now is that all these guys out of the woodworks wanting to do it. BJ Penn made a statement already. A couple guys already were like,
oh,
hey,
yeah,
I'll fight you,
Yeah.
But they're not stupid because they know they're going to get paid $500,000. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to go anywhere else and get paid that. Nowhere. So they know by doing a celebrity match with this kid that they're going to get paid $500,000. At least $500,000. So if Ben Askren right now, Ben Askren being a little famous in the UFC, not crazy famous, but he's somewhat famous. They paid Ben Askren $500,000. Somebody who has a championship belt or somebody who has more followers, or somebody who is going to have more juice, they got to pay him $700,000 to a trailer. You know what I mean? So that's my opinion anyways.
Yeah, it's. I could see him staying in that celebrity gimmick for a while. Why not?
He's 5-0 or 6-0.
Yeah, because he can build it up, like you're saying, and and this is the thing. You know, we're seeing a lot of social media, YouTube. That's where Jake and Logan Paul came from. Build up this persona, right? But they realize maybe the space they're in, it's small potatoes. You know, like take a look at the firearms industry as an example, right? We've talked about this. There's a lot of people running around playing G.I. Joe, playing dress up, doing whatever, and putting content out there and doing stuff. But a lot of them don't understand how to put the deals together. What it comes down to is putting the deals together. And for people, someone like a Jake Paul, what I see is a kid who's putting the deals together. You have to respect that after 100%, a while.
100%.
You have to respect what he's doing. Mm-hmm. And it's I can understand and relate because people don't get that. You can have this massive following. We talk about this. We've talked about this. There's people out there that have no clue what they're doing.
Oh, 100%.
None.
Well, there's people out there that they don't know how to market themselves. You know what I'm saying? So
they think they're going to hold up a gun, take a picture, and someone's going to give them a $500,000 check.
In every industry is like that. Now, look at I've known George Masvidal for a long time. So George Masvidal marketing himself before he gave Ben Askren that knee. His page was maybe at the low 200,000 or something like that.
Tops.
Yeah, at the tops. When he kneed Ben Askren, his page literally within 3 to 4 days went to 1 million. Almost a week maybe. It hit 1 million. Boom. Next thing you know, it's 1.4, 1.5. Just from that knee, from the exposure of UFC. Now, could he have done that on his own? No, because he didn't know how to market himself. And I'll tell you that. And I love you, George. You know I do. I got much love for you, brother. But he just in that space. And it's not that only he didn't know.
It elevates him.
He didn't care. He wasn't the type of guy that cared about social media. He never has. He's always been a fighter. Like I want to fight and that's it. Make money fighting. So, but. Look what happened. Boom, knees Askren, gets the fastest KO in the history of UFC, becomes a BMF or whatever, and his fucking whole entire life changes within 6 months to a year. You know, now making crazy money and all that type of good stuff.
But that's the thing. You know, people don't realize is you have to evolve. You have to market yourself in a way that you can open a lot of different doors, a lot of different genres, whether it's shooting, fitness, boxing, MMA, all these different, because there's not enough money in one pool.
In every industry, whatever you decide to do, you either have to find somebody that can market you really well, or you have to know how to market yourself. And then not only that, but it's only not marketing, it's running an actual business. So you can be a great fighter, a great instructor, a great operator, whatever, but have no idea on how to run a business or no idea how to market yourself, and you're not going to be successful. You may have a decent amount of income, meaning like you'll be getting by. You know what I mean? But are you going to be top 3 in your industry? You know, or top 4 in your industry? Chances are no, because you just don't have. You need all the tools, and if you're one person and you don't have all the tools, then you better find someone that's a tool of each one and put them on your team. But that usually doesn't happen because that costs money,
and there's not enough money in any one space.
No. You
can make a living.
Yeah. You can make a living for sure. Absolutely.
But there's not enough money in any one space. And that's what I spend most of my time explaining to people that call me all the time. And they're like, John, I have 30,000 followers. I'm in the hunting industry. I'm in the gun industry, you know, but I'm making $500. Yeah. And it comes down to what you said, plus adding on, well, you're kind of one-dimensional. What do you bring to the table? What's the add-on here?
What's different? What
from makes you
from everybody
different?
Else? Bottom line. So if you ever come out with anything, you have a product line or this or that, you're going to be compared to every single other product if it's the same type of product, right? So CBD that we're talking about, saturated, right? If you don't have something that's different about your CBD products, then why are people going to pick yours over somebody else's? Someone that's more established. They're not. It's the same concept, you know. As an entrepreneur, you know, when we first started, you know, when I started integrating fitness and mixed martial arts into live fire training, you know, and doing all these 3 different things.
Ate shit.
Nobody was doing that in my time when we started in 2014. So we were ahead of the game, right? We got a lot of shit for it. We were shaking trees and we got some backlash for it. But at that point, it really didn't matter because, you know, I don't give a fuck, you know. But it was something that when you are tapping into a market about something that's never been done. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have either haters, trolls, people that have been doing something for a long time, or you're going to make a lot of mistakes. You know what I'm saying? Because it's just natural. Nobody's ever done what you're doing. You're somewhere. Look at Elon Musk. You know what I'm saying? Like all the things he's invented and all the crazy stuff he's done. You know, how many mistakes you think he's made over the years? How much money you think he's lost trying to be
billions,
bro? Trying to be the tip of the spear. If you're the tip of the spear in any industry, you are going to waste money. You're going to risk. You're going to whatever for that break to see what's going to be the next thing you're going to come out with.
Is anyone doing that in our industry yet? Anyone like we saw? Yeah.
Well, you're always going to have guys that trying to come out with new stuff, like, for guns, gun manufacturing, accessories, gear. People always trying to come out with the newest gear, like what's the newest, fad. You know what I'm saying?
I don't see anyone out there that's that different other than what was done, like we said, with the incorporation of fitness, MMA, and shooting. I don't see anyone breaking down any other new and unique walls yet. Maybe I'm naive, but I don't see anyone.
I mean, it's so hard to say because at that point, are we going into like accessories, gear, like
we haven't even seen someone like Taron's probably the only one that has like his own line, but he's on the tactical side. Competition. Yeah, he's on the competition side. I think Travis Haley laid a little bit of a template in terms of like the.
What I'll tell you this: Travis Haley and Chris Costa with Magpul set the tone. Because when I first came on, they were the big dogs, right? So they set the tone.
They laid the road a little bit. They
laid the foundation for proper marketing as a firearms instructor because their videos were all over YouTube. Their videos were great quality videos. And I remember you watching those videos. And I said to myself,
the old DVDs?
Yeah. Not even the DVDs. You just go to YouTube and then they had a freaking ton of stuff, right? So I said to myself, I got to make videos better than those. Either as good or better. That was the mentality in my head, when I did it. Then Magpul and then Chris Costa and Travis, they split up. And then Haley Strategic came out and Costa Ludus came out. And, they went their own ways and then whatever happens to them, But at that time, they were the tip of the spear,
I think Travis still has a little bit of the template for the soft goods for that stuff.
Yeah, he has actually come out with a lot of good stuff. He really has.
A nice line.
If there is one person that I could say that really has broken the mold on like some, I don't want to say revolutionary, but definitely innovative and quality gear that is not crazy expensive. Because there's some people out there that are just out of their minds.
Ridiculous.
Yeah. It would be Travis. He's probably done the best in that market,
Yeah. He definitely went like to the left when
everybody else was on the right side.
Yeah, he did.
He knew
did
the game. Right. He saw the game early on.
It's hard to say because you try to look at these guys, and we see this all the time. For some reason, this sport or this space, whether it's tactical or professional shooting, attracts a certain kind of people, and I think they think that there's something in that space that there isn't, and that's sometimes what you're stuck explaining to these people, like. You find yourself saying like, what are you? And the people don't know what they are when you talk to them.
Yeah.
They don't know what they are.
Yeah, they haven't figured out their niche.
They haven't figured out their thing.
That thing, yeah.
And what I'm getting scared of is some of them are taking a little bit of a right and they're trying to be like all things. They're trying to critique, police videos, this, that.
I get you.
And they're going down
police experience.
Yeah, they're going down a little bit of a dark road. That's not.
And then they because they have military experience, they think that because their military experience, they have enough experience in the military that they can critique police videos when they've never put.
Or now because they took one jiu-jitsu class, they're critiquing that stuff.
Of course,
that's where it gets dangerous, and you get a lot of these guys.
Yeah, if you're a firearms guy and you go into the self-defense and then you start talking about jiu-jitsu stuff when you don't know what the hell you're talking about, you have no business teaching that. That's a problem.
And they put it out there, and they just if it bleeds, it leads.
Honestly, it makes them look stupid. I mean, to a person who doesn't know, they look fine. But to somebody who actually knows what they're doing, you see that, to me, at that point, you lose credibility. Regardless of how good you are with a firearm.
How do we police it, though? That's what I always struggle with.
Bro, listen. You can't police any of that, anything. At the end of the day, that person's going to be their own demise. You can't police that. How are you going to stop somebody from doing a video that's not supposed to? It's a shitty video and they're teaching garbage. Okay, if you're stupid enough as a consumer, as a client, to not be able to see through that, and you pay that person knowing that he's a clown, then it's on you. Then it's on you. I don't even bother with I don't bother with it anymore. I see something like that, and the guy's has no business teaching what he's teaching, and God knows what he's teaching. I go and I just keep scrolling. I look at it, laugh, and keep scrolling. I don't bother myself with it anymore. I don't. I mean, I have more important things to do with my time than to lose even 15 seconds of my day, thinking about some clown that's doing something they're not supposed to be doing.
I think you're right. I think it's impossible to police. You can't. It's hard to pull. Some of it, you don't want to be an industry gatekeeper. You're not trying to squash someone's hustle or throw shade at someone.
Listen, I'll tell you right now. I mean, all the guys on social media that are gun heavy pages, their engagement is fucking straight garbage right now.
Awful
compared to what it was 3 years ago. You know what I mean? If you want to sit there and talk about it, the truth, they're all shadow banned, all of them. Even my page is shadow banned right now. The engagement, I mean, I just know how to work around it. And I have other demographics that I can tap into that they can't because there's such a gun-heavy page. But you're talking about guys that used to have 250,000 views, 300,000 views per video, now are like 50,000, 40,000. Their likes, when their likes were 20, 15, 20,000, 3,000, 4,000.
The most.
You know what I mean? And
the best.
Yeah. So what does that do for that person or that influencer? Because that's what they are, right? What does it do? Their value goes down.
Mm-hmm.
When they were getting paid $3,000 or $4,000 a month before by these companies, now they can't get paid that no more because it's not valuable. It's not enough to get paid that.
Well,
money.
it's not the space to have a lot of that content live and breathe. It's not ideal. You got to go to like Rumble or somewhere where it's accepted, and you have to build up a different thing. But everybody gets so addicted and one dimensional to the Instagram that they have a hard time.
Because Instagram is like
seeing
the
something else. Yeah, they have a hard time seeing something else. That's part of the reason why, whether it's podcasting or I always felt, what I always felt? I always felt that stuff lacked context, and to be able to sit and have a 45-minute, hour-long conversation with someone, it gives it more context. It makes it realer. And that was always one of the downfalls of the business, because I looked around and I'm like, half these motherfuckers can't string a sentence together and can't even have a conversation and don't even know why they're there and what rights they care about. They're just taking a picture with a gun, or they just take. So, you sit there and we've talked to them, and they can't train. They've never trained, and they've never participated in any of the genres at any level that we have. Certainly, for sure, you have. But you just look at it and you're like, but in a picture, someone can portray themselves as like, yeah, here I am.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Doing the damn thing. Defending freedom.
They're playing the part, man. They're playing the part. And listen, honestly, if they're not hurting nobody, in my head, and you need to do that to make money to feed your family, hey, go for it. If it makes you feel better, go for it. As long as you're not hurting anybody. You want to play dress up? Back in the day, it bothered me, I guess, because I didn't play dress up. I actually did it in real life for my entire life.
You go through a phase, though, where it bothers you. We all do.
Yeah.
You release the beast.
In the beginning, it used to bother me. I'm like, bro, look at this character. Guys, he's playing G.I. Joe every day. The guy's never seen G.I. Joe shit ever. So, yeah, it bothered me in the beginning. But now, it's kind of like, I'm like, bro, if you want to play G.I. Joe, play G.I. Joe. That makes you happy, play. Go wear that helmet. Go. You can wear that helmet all day long, every single day for 10 hours a day. Because I wore it every freaking day. Or, not every day, but I wore it quite plenty, just like a plate carrier and all that, for 15, 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And when you wear it because you have to, and not because you want to, for a 15-hour man hunt or whatever they do me call it, you kind of not want to wear it when you don't need
Once
to.
I took a football helmet off, I never wore it again.
Yeah. So,
I didn't willingly.
If I'm teaching a class that everybody is mandated to wear a helmet, then I'm going to wear a helmet, because you have to lead by example. Feel me? So, but the reality of it is, if I don't have to wear a plate carrier or a helmet or something that's uncomfortable to me, I'm not going to wear it on a social media post unless I'm teaching or there's specific reason for it. Maybe if I'm promoting the plate carrier or doing a picture, a photo op for the plate carrier, fine. But just to do videos every day and have a plate carrier on, have a helmet on, because in reality, why do you really need a helmet to shoot? A helmet is designed to be ballistic to stop rounds from hitting your head and killing you, right? So why do you wear it?
Because it looks cool.
Because it looks cool. Because it makes you look cool. It makes you look tactical. You know, so
more legit.
Yeah. Now plate carriers are different. I can understand because you need to train with the plate carrier. You need to have whatever mags where you have your mags and all that type of stuff. You know, to create that muscle memory with repetition.
Sure.
You know, reloads and all that. So I get a plate carrier, but a helmet or having on a helmet and NVGs, and it's daytime. You're taking a picture daytime, or you get me? You know what I mean? You're like you're doing a video with it on, and it's daytime. And you're shooting in the day. Why, bro? Why? You know, like because you're playing dress up. You know what I mean?
Or it's not even dirty.
Yeah. No, never. Yeah. No.
Never been used.
Yeah, bro. Bro, my helmet. After a while, your fucking helmet smells because you sweat. You know, having it on for 10 or 12 hours. You know what I'm saying? Try to clean the inside of it. No matter how much you clean it, it fucking smells. So when you put it on and you're with it on for 30 minutes, 40 minutes, that smell comes back. You never forget that smell. You know what I mean? You never forget it. It's like the first time you ever smell a decomp. You know, you go into you go smell and you smell a body that's been dead for a few days or a week or whatever, and it's already in decomp. It's exploding.
In Miami.
Yeah, Miami. Anywhere, yeah, the heat. Yeah, and the comp, you know, it's all like swollen. And then the morgue people, or you go in there and you just touch it, and you go plop. The smell that gives you is like, ugh. You never forget that. You'll never forget that for the rest of your life. That smell is a very, very potent smell. So there's certain things that in life that you go through that remind you of some of the traumas that you've been through. Is wearing some of that stuff. You know, if I don't need to wear it, I'm not going to wear it. It's just not for show, not for unless I'm like I said, that's just specific for a company. For promotion, there's got to be a reason for it, not just to fucking wear.
Training it. That's for training. Like if you're training that way because you live that life, and that's a different animal.
Yeah. If you're actually on a team and you're still active, then by all means, then you have to do it. You know you got to train like that. But I'm just talking about the people that are just, you know, they're just influencers.
Hollywood
influencers. You know.
Speaking of Hollywood, right? Are movies going to survive this now that everything's going to streaming?
It's going to HBO Max now. It comes out with every single movie goes straight to HBO
Will we
Max.
still have movie theaters?
I know. Will we? I think we will, mainly because it's an actual thing people like to do. They like to go out to the movies, eat. I think that it's going to migrate more towards like the Cine Bistro type of ordeal.
You love that.
I love it. Yeah, that's my pastime.
Shitty hamburgers.
Yeah. No, bro, the food's good, man.
Bad pizza.
No, the food's good.
Fucking shitty pizza.
But you go in there for the experience. You go in there, you eat dinner while you're watching, and then you can recline back. You know, it's you know, it's a you know.
But will movies now? Will any movies come out and be just on the movie screen, or will we be able to,
at least not right now while COVID. No,
I think they're in trouble. I think they're in more trouble than you think.
In a year or 2 years, honestly, I don't. Maybe in a year or 2 years, when if everything ever goes back to normal, which honestly, I really don't think it is. I don't think it's ever going to go back to normal. I think that we're going to be wearing masks 5 years from now. I honestly do. Now, will it be as mandated as it is now? No, I don't think so. But I think people are literally going to be wearing masks for a long, long time to come. You know what I'm saying?
They want it to be more like China. They want it to look and feel more like they want to. This is a test of the government imposing its will on people.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's what's going to continue to happen. This is the first step.
Yeah.
You and I will be gone in dust, thank God, before it gets really crazy, because I think it's going to, like you said, 5 years. Like the mask thing is the first test in this 10-year, 5-year, 8-year cycle.
I'm just happy I live in Florida and Miami, and we got Governor DeSantis, which the guy's a savage. You know, the guy's a savage. He's like, no fucks given. He's awesome. You know, like, he says it how it is. He puts it down and he doesn't care like what anybody thinks, you know.
But I think you and I will be dead, thank God, or close
when it gets
to
really,
it.
really bad.
When it gets really, really bad.
Yeah. At that point, it's not going to even matter. You're going to be shitting on yourself in a wheelchair.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, I'm on the back nine. You know, I got maybe 20 years of 30 years of active life left in me, if that. I said, so, you know, for me, I'll be fine. You know, if we can get, you know, the right people in office here and there to stave it off. But that's why I tell people all the time, we're going to lose. We're going to lose the gun battle. We're going to lose. We're going to lose. We're going to lose huge. Yeah. And we're going to lose for a number of reasons. You know, the list is long.
You can't live without it because, I mean, if you look at, you know, Australia, you look at some of those other places where they don't have any guns, like nothing at all, you know. They function. Everything's fine. You know, and now, can you compare the size? No, obviously not. The size of the United States compared to some of the other countries, you know. But could it happen? Yeah, could happen. You prepare for it because it may come down the line, you know.
I think it's inevitable because it's just all the wrong messaging. And I've said it 100 times. Too many people at the top that are the ones doing the talking, they want to spend more time arguing about what AR-15 stands for, whether it's a clip or a mag. And what they don't realize is the government doesn't care about that.
No, they don't.
They're just going to steamroll you. That they're happy you're eating time talking about that.
Yeah. At least the transgender thing has been going pretty down a pretty decent path. A lot of states are starting to ban it. You know what I mean? And I don't have any issues with transgender people at all. None. It's up to you. Whatever makes you happy. Hey, by all means. But if you're a dude and you were born a dude and you're trying to be a woman, you have no business in women's sports. None. I'm going to say it one more time. None. I don't care who you are. You weren't born a woman. Unfortunately, you still have the body of a man.
Yeah.
You still have the body of a man. And even if you have the surgery, you still have the body of a man. You're still going to be strong like a man, you know? And you cannot compare a man to a woman when it comes to sports. Obviously, you're going to be bigger. You're going to be stronger. You're probably going to be faster. You know, there's a reason why just in, let's say, the sprinting, the running, you know, why don't they have the men and women go face each other? Because the men have always been faster than the women. It's just natural. They're bigger, they're stronger, you know. Their muscles are bigger, their bone structures, they're longer, you know. So it's just, you can't, man. And I think it's a disservice to all the females that have become athletes and have.
Oh, they don't like it.
Yeah, of course not. They've spent their entire life, you know, like busting their ass to get somewhere. And then all of a sudden now you just got this guy, you know, or a transgender person, you know, and they come in there and they're like, I'm going to be in your sport now and I'm going to destroy you. And you were number one before. Yeah, I'm going to destroy you because I'm bigger than you, I'm stronger than you, and I'm 20, 30 pounds heavier than you are. You know what I'm saying? Or even more, maybe. God knows. You know? Guys, listen, I want to explain something to you. This is my opinion. This is how I feel about that particular thing. This has nothing to do with any of my sponsors or anything like that. I just want to put that out there. This is the way that I feel personally. Okay. But at the same time, that's just how I feel. Now, I don't have anything against, and I'll say it again, I don't have anything against transgender people at all. If that's what makes you happy, if that's how you feel your life should be, then by all means, go for it. Not an issue with me. I just don't believe that if you're a man, you're going into women's sports. I don't agree with that.
I don't think anyone would argue with you. I think you're 100% right, but I think they're going to try to blur the lines of how people are born, right? Like they haven't made a choice yet. That's where they'll blur it a little bit. You know, I have different theories. I don't care, so I say what I want. Beyond extreme, you know, I think this is all being done as a scheme to hide the fucking pee-pee touchers and pedophiles and everything else out there in Hollywood and everything else, and they're trying to blur the lines of age, of gender, of when people recognize it. And I haven't listened.
At the end of the day, you're born either a boy or a girl. Doesn't matter to me, in my opinion. If you're born a boy, you're a boy. If you're born a girl, you're a girl. Now, when you're talking about whether you like boys or girls, okay, some people may disagree with me, but there's two reasons why someone, you know, let's say you're a boy and you like girls, right? And then all of a sudden now you don't like girls anymore. Now you like boys, right? So you're gay. And I have friends that are gay. No issues with them at all whatsoever. Happens for two reasons to me. One, you're either born that way. That was what you were naturally supposed to be, in my opinion. Or you've been through some form of traumatic experience in your life that made you turn that way, right? I know personally, I have friends that I grew up with that I knew in 3rd or 4th grade that they were gay. They hadn't come out yet, but by the way that they act, by the way they talk, you just know. And great people. I still talk to them, So they're still friends of mine. But we knew a kid that age, at that young, doesn't know the difference. They're not, they're not liking people yet. They don't have to like a girl or a boy yet. So they don't know.
They haven't developed.
They haven't developed enough in their brain to have the malice to say, oh, I like this one or I like that one. So that's how I feel. So now a lot of religious people are not going to believe that. They're not going to believe that they're born that way. That's a choice that they make. But I disagree, honestly, because I grew up, and the reason I tell you is because I grew up with really close friends, and me growing up with them, I saw, and everybody knew that the person was just that way, and everybody accepted him like that. We knew it. He didn't end up coming out till later on in his life, but it doesn't matter.
Right. But I think they're going to do their best to blur it, to not make it so simple.
Yeah, of course.
They're going to do their best to twist
like,
it.
I don't know. It's such a touchy subject, man. To be honest with you,
they want division, they want racism, they want all that. It feeds into the narrative. It gives them news because I just, like I said, I have not a different theory. My theory is cable TV, regular television, it's on its last legs. They need every narrative they can.
Yeah,
the fucking CNN guy got on the news.
You called that actually a couple of years back. I remember you said it's going to go straight to streaming. Get ready, you'll see. And it's true. It goes into
and what's going to hurt streaming is if they buy too much into the corporate narrative and they don't allow some of the people that, whether you have a podcast or a video vlog or whatever, to kind of flourish and form their own opinion. Let it be process of selection. What people like, let them watch.
Yeah, of course.
If they like your show, if they like my show, if they like the show down the street. But what's going to happen is because there's corporate dollars in it, they're going to, you look at like Fox News or CNN or anything, they're going to try to cram those streaming things down there.
Absolutely.
They want to
they're going to end up saying, okay, there's 5 shows. Which show don't we like that doesn't have stuff that we don't like? We don't like this one. Okay, take that one out. We don't want that show anymore. Just because it doesn't go with the agenda that the corporate world's going with.
Yeah.
So then you don't have any real authentic shows that talk about everything and give you opinions from all.
Yeah, and eventually on streaming, you'll see the same problem that happened with magazines and happened with straight regular broadcast news. Eventually, all these big companies, they want to come in, they want to wet their beak in that space. They want to make a little bit of money. So they start pouring money into YouTube, into Instagram, into Facebook, into all these different areas, which they're doing. And they want to take it over and they want to impose their will. They want to be at the table. You and I mean, at least I can speak for myself. We can't get anyone on the phone over there if our life depended on it if we had to.
Yeah.
But they can because they can throw 30 million at it or 20 million at it in advertising revenue. So they have to take their call.
Yeah,
they have to hear them out. So that's part of what's going to go on. And eventually this will get ruined and then something else will come out and then something else. But like I said, hopefully by the second or third go through, we'll be dead. That's the hope.
Absolutely. Some of the companies that I worked with, they have their own narrative. They have their own way of thinking of their thing, and I still work with them. I may not agree with what they like, the way they think, right? But it's still a company I work with. They may not agree with what I think.
You're fine as long as it's not Disney.
Yeah, right.
You're fine.
You're good as long as it's not Disney.
As long as it's not Star Wars.
That's just how it is, And some companies do align with what I work. Like First Form, for example, the supplement company that I work with. I know the owner, the owners, and I know the president, and their way of thinking and the way they are is aligned 100% the way that I think, the way that I am. Andy Frizella, Sal Frizella, and Chris Klein, and those guys are legit dudes. They're going to tell you how it is. Doesn't matter what you think of them. And you know what? They put it on the line. They put their entire company on the line. They could care less. You know what I'm saying? Just like Dana White. You know what I mean? Same concept. No fucks given at that point. And First Form is a $500 million company. You know what I mean? It's a huge company. It's probably, right now, it's probably the biggest supplement company in the country, I would tell you. If not the biggest, probably like top 2. And their products are phenomenal. best quality, and and look at them. They're literally against the grain of like the narrative. They're like, this is the way we are. This is, if you don't like it, all right, go pound sand. I don't care.
There's something to be said about that, though. In I think that's why Dana gained ground with the UFC with everything going on, right? I think he's just stuck to his guns and he said, this is how we're going to do business.
Yep.
And I think that's where the NHL, NFL, and Major League Baseball fail. They're trying to bend to please everybody. Yeah. And everybody's like, we just want to watch a football game.
Yeah, that's it. 100%. I agree with you.
And that's the mistake people make. Once you start to bend a little and you try to fit a mold, or you try to, become a character, like we were saying earlier, you dilute the product.
100%.
And
there's
you
a
make
lot of people that just don't want to deal with that drama. They're having enough of that drama every day. They just want to watch sports. And when you're putting that drama in there, it's going to affect. It's going to affect. And as you can see, the ratings have been dropping, obviously, the last 2 years. So, a lot of people are getting affected by it. I don't watch sports, so I couldn't even tell you. I'm too busy. I'm too busy hustling.
Wow.
Making money.
Every day I'm hustling.
Every day. 7 days a week.
Well, listen.
And doing 2 days. I'm working in my sleep.
Yeah, not everybody can do that. I try to sleep faster. If that does that make any sense? That makes no sense.
I can't sleep faster because my story doesn't let me.
I try to sleep faster. You're gonna go to Texas.
Yes, I'm going to FitCon next weekend. That's gonna be the first show we've been to in a long time, so it should be fun.
It's all open there, and then we have NRA coming up. That's the only other thing to look forward to.
Which is that? Where is
Houston.
That? Houston. But that's
September.
Too? September. That's right.
Yeah, it'll happen. Yeah, a lot of people are asking if it'll happen. It'll happen because it's in Texas, and by then everything will open up. That'll be very interesting. The first show back, right? That's going to be very interesting.
Yeah, both of them, the FitCon and the other one.
Yeah, FitCon too.
Yeah.
Hopefully
should do very well just because it's it's like the first and they've got a lot of big influence.
Well, I think it'll be curious. I think people will be curious. I think they'll be busy. I definitely think they'll be busy, but I think people will be curious more than anything. And whether or not people come out in droves, I don't know. To me, fitness shows, it's hard, right? Like they're becoming like t-shirt sale type thing. Yeah, so it's hard.
Swag, apparel, all that stuff. Yeah,
that's why you got to bring in a lot of names. You got to bring in a lot of people to draw.
Influencers to draw. Yeah, 100%. You got to pay as a whoever the organization is throwing the event. They're gonna have to pay the influencers to be there, and then they, and all that stuff. So, on top of whatever overhead they have.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting how shows come back, but I think we'll get NRA and then roll into shop. But it'll still be a quiet year. This year will still be, and like you said, I don't think it'll ever return to fully normal.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah. How long have we been going? A while.
Yeah.
All right, we'll call it quits. All right, listen. Everybody knows where to find you. I'm not going to waste my time.
RealWorld Tactical. Google.
Gummies in 3 weeks, maybe 6.
Yeah, 6 weeks.
6 weeks.
6 weeks.
And then next week, Houston.
Strongest vitamin C gummies in the world.
All right. I believe you.
Shout out! I'm gonna send you some bottles so you can taste them once they get them.
Use them as a suppository. Yeah. Shout out to all the sponsors. I want to thank a few of them now. I want to thank Rhino Metals, Gallo Technology, Enforce Weapon Lights, CAA Gear Up USA, Blackwater Ammunition, Galco Leather Holsters, Volquartz and Firearms, and Kenzie's Optics. Go check them out. And I want to thank Pulsar. Special thanks to Pulsar. Thermal imaging technology is coming down in price. Go check out Pulsar. Head over to the website for a complete list of all the sponsors, www.johnbartoloshow.com. Leave reviews. And thank you, Tony.
What do I always say? On to the next one.
On to the next one. We're out.
Done? Let me see the pictures you got there. I gotta take a picture because I gotta post it. Yeah, I know, that's why.